Hi, have you ever just wanted to sell everything that you have, pack up anything you can in your car, and just leave the town that you grew up in? I have, and I actually did it. And I'm going to tell you how I did it and why as we go for a little walk here. First off, I'm not recommending that everybody just pack up their things and leave all their responsibilities to go somewhere else. Not what I'm saying. But I just wanted to share with you my experience in doing that, how I was feeling, why I did it, what set it off, all of that. What brought me here in Western Canada in the first place was just a sabbatical. In 2022, I just took a year off, more or less, to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. I went back to my hometown for a couple of months to work and get ready to pack up the kids to come here. So my kids at the time they were 18 and 16, and the plan was to be here for just 6 months. Just a bit of a working holiday, give a chance for my son he was the 18-year-old, to kind of explore a different area besides the town that he grew up in. And at home, I had a full-time relationship that I have been in for a number of years, it's 10 years. I had a business, I had a clinic that I was doing massage out of with other RMTs, and I had a big house. So what I had done was rented my house out. I moved in with my partner, and I was going to come out here, and then we were going to go off on some adventure on our own. But once I got here, I just, it was a switch just went off. And I remember hiking at the time, and I just said, I'm not going back. It made sense to me not to just to leave everything and stay here. It just, this felt like my place. Back home, I grew up there, I got married there, got divorced there, made a lot of mistakes there, and I just wanted to move on from all of it and wanted to be somewhere where I fit in more. And I really do feel like I fit in this area here. I wanted to meet new people. I love hiking. I wanted to be somewhere where I hiked. I love the mountains. And I knew the partner that I was with at the time, he wouldn't want to move out here. He had a whole family and a life in Ontario, so I just made the decision that I was gonna just do it. So the thing that made it easy was I was just planning on being here anyways for the 6 months. So it wasn't like ripping off the Band-Aid all at once. I had already rented my house out. I had already gotten rid of all of my stuff and furniture, everything, mostly everything. And I put some of it in storage. And then I just told the kids, bring your snow gear, your snowboarding gear, your skis, and a couple of bags, and we'll just figure it out as we go. I know there's thrift stores here. I know that we can furnish our little condo that we rented, and we made it work. I knew that there was lots of jobs in the area for what I do for massage therapy in the spa industry here. I knew that wouldn't be an issue. I knew my kids could find work, and we were just ready to go. But what made the decision final was the people that I met. The friends were so welcoming, and they loved doing what I was doing. And a lot of people here come on their own and just make a life here. And so everyone was really welcoming because they know what it's like to move from somewhere else and try to meet people and have a community. So this was it. Once I made the final decision to move here permanently, I drained out all my savings to buy a condo. I still had the house in Ontario, and I put a down payment on a condo, small condo, very simple. It's a big downsize from a 4-bedroom, full garage, 2-bath house with a yard and grass to cut and a driveway to shovel. But that all took up so much of my time just to maintain that house. And it's just me, and I didn't want to have to do it. So, anyways, I didn't sell the house till the very last. That was the very last step. It was a year that I was here, maybe a year and a half, before I decided to actually sell the house. That was the biggest move. So, but I did sell my business, and that was fairly easy for me to do. I mean, I missed, being part of the community, my clients, but the work that it takes to have a business, I did not miss that. And I was ready to let it go. And I'm really happy working in the spa industry again. So making money was not an issue, whether I was there or here. Do I regret my decision? Absolutely not. 100% know that it's the right decision. And, so my kids were impacted with this decision big time. So now I've taken my 16-year-old, and she was in grade 11 here in the high school, and that was a really good experience for her. I've taken my 18-year-old, and when he decided to go back home, he was pretty much homeless. I wanted him to live with his dad, but at the time they didn't see eye to eye, and that wasn't happening. So my son lived with my sister's mother-in-law. We call her Nana. So she was gracious enough to let Preston stay with her for almost a year. He's doing well with his cousin. They're living together. But there's some guilt with that part of uprooting him before he was even ready. But honestly, I think in the long run, he's learned so many skills of how to provide for himself, real life skills of how to budget and go shopping and cook his food and prepare and go to work and wake himself up on time. And I know that if he was still living with me in the house at that time, he would be spending his money on whatever, going out, and I don't know, probably bought a brand new truck and not budgeting, and he'd have that comfort of mom. So I think in the long run it's done him some good. I mean, it's been tough for him, these last 3 years trying to navigate stuff on his own. But I think that's the only sad part of me just uprooting everything, because they lived with me pretty much full time, and my house was their home essentially. So anyways, people walking by, it's weird. So he's done really well, and my daughter has done really well also. She's traveling right now. She traveled last year in Europe for 2 months. She's only 18 then. Now she's 19, traveling again, this time moving to New Zealand. And she's brave. I don't know, she's had to be. I put her in situations where she's had to be brave. And she was a timid little girl. I remember having to sit in the car with her and coach her to go in and put an application in for a job. She was 14 at the time. And she was so scared to go in and just talk to somebody. And now look at her, she's off traveling, and she's had to move here and meet new friends and find her way around and navigate the bus systems. And she's learned a lot. Now when she goes back to her hometown and sees her friends, like, she's at a whole different level because she's got all this experience, this real life experience. And same with my son, he's at a whole different level because he's got all of this real life experience of figuring himself out. So, you know, my hope is when he finds a partner, he will do well with that because he's had to look after himself. He hasn't had mom to do everything for him, you know? So, I mean, it's all fine to talk about regrets and decisions that you make and should you have done this, should you have not done this, but at the end of the day, I really like who my kids have become. Like, and I think if I can't beat myself up about some decisions that I made, like because they were for myself and not for them. But at the same time, they've become the people that they have become because of the decisions that I've made. Whether, like, you know, leaving my marriage and moving out here and lots of decisions. But they're good people and they're doing well. So that's the bottom line for that. So I don't know if this story is helping you to either be satisfied with where you are or you want to be somewhere else and you just don't know what the first step is. I'm not going to give you step by step. If you're thinking about it, I would definitely say journal, write it down, figure out where you want to go, why you want to go there, why you want to leave, and then the how-to of it all kind of just happens. Like, once you make the decisions, then the barriers of the how-to disappear. And that's with anything in life. That's with going to school, even, or a diet plan, or whatever. If you have a goal, you can make up all sorts of excuses and barriers and roadblocks as to why you can't get there. You're never going to get there. But if you have the goal and you're like, I'm going to do this, every other barrier, you'll find a way. It's really bizarre how that happens. If you want something bad enough, you'll find a way. As cliche as that sounds, it's so true. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here and hope you enjoyed this story, a little bit of my life. And we'll catch you on the next one.